very good evening. So we're all able to see each other. Yeah. So Deepak, very good evening and thank you for joining us today on this series of NSHM. Let me just briefly tell you that began a journey about 22 years ago. And they are associated with the Macaut University affiliated. And they have more than 57 different graduate and postgraduate programs which are AICTE approved. And presently, they have more than 5,000 students in the campuses in Kolkata and Durgapur. And over the years, they have more than 25,000 alumni who are placed in various locations all over the globe. And they have more than 360 full-time faculty and 75 visiting faculty for the various disciplines that they offer. And they are amongst the top-rated colleges for which students apply for after their high school to join the college. You know, we all love college. And this series of the Fast Track Guidance Program, which was started just after the lockdown began in on March 24th, 25th, we have had a series of 29 such programs, and we have had a viewership of over 3 lakh people across the country who have seen these programs and highly benefited and also shared a lot of things with us on the go. The masterclass webinar series was started recently. In fact, what we decided was the various disciplines that NSHM offers, we would bring in specialists in various departments. And we had a couple of sessions earlier, very interesting sessions. And today, let me have the opportunity to introduce Deepak Srivastava. Deepak is a person who I know for more than 3 decades. That's a different issue. We'll discuss it on another day. Deepak comes from Calcutta, and he's a Lawrencian and the St. Xavier's alumni. And incidentally, career counseling wise, he had actually started trying to become a chartered accountant, finished his inter, and I think he also finished a couple of groups of the finals when he got this offer from Nestle to join as a sales executive trainee. And he joined it. And with a salary, which is very, very, for students, it is very essential for all of us to know this. He joined at a salary of 1,500 rupees only per month. And, in a career in sales, it takes a while for a person to grow. And he spent 14 years in the sales function when he reached the regional sales management position in a company like Nestle. When 21 years ago, an opportunity just knocked at his door. And that opportunity 21 years ago, and perhaps many of the students who are listening to us would have just maybe taken their baby steps. And there was born supply chain management. And Deepak, I would like you to introduce us to your journey on supply chain management as we discuss this. Yeah.
Thank you, Jai Shankar, and good evening, all friends and parents who have been kind enough to spare an hour to listen talk on supply chain. I'm Deepak Srivastava. A lot of introduction has already been given by Jai Shankar. However, the summary which comes out of that is that opportunity and attitude waits for nobody. Now, I was doing my chartered accountancy. I had no idea that one day I will be sitting in front of you talking to Jai Shankar and Jai Shankar guiding me through this webinar. I had not thought 35 years back. I was destined to become a chartered accountant. However, while we were doing a joint studies during college days, all youngsters do joint studies. So we were also doing joint studies, and there was a Statesman newspaper in my hand, which had a half-page ad saying that wanted trainee sales representatives for a company called Food Specialities Limited. Now, Food Specialities Limited by today's Nestle was known as Food Specialities Limited then. So out of sheer excitement, I took a pencil. Please note my word. I took a pencil and a full scape paper, and I wrote something which was so-called today a CV. What was there to write? That I am a graduate, I am doing my chartered accountancy, and I have no experience. And I posted it. And that time there were no emails, no WhatsApp, so I had to post it. And can you believe it? After a month or so, I got a call. Later, I came to know there was more than 10,000 applicants for that, and 5 people were selected out of which. Now, it is the pencil that was lucky or the paper that was lucky, I don't know. But I decided to part ways with chartered accountancy and make my career in sales. I had no clue what was sales all about. But it took me a while. It took me 4 months, 5 months to understand the basics of sales. Then I was thrown into the high seas to fend for myself. And the quicker one learns in new waters how to swim, the better he becomes as a person, as a professional. And for next 14 years, the journey continued with a very sustained progress. And finally, when I reached a level of a regional sales manager, I was offered a different vertical altogether. And that time it was called distribution. Now let's imagine I'm doing pretty well in 13 years from a trainee sales representative who started his career as a 1,500 rupees, has come to a regional level, a regional sales manager level. And my boss, you would know, you must have heard his name also, Ajay Singh Banga.
Yes.
He is the CEO for MasterCards now. He called me one day and he said, Deepak, and he called me in Hindi and he used a couple of good words. And he said, look, I have an opportunity for you and I want you to take over supply chain. There was no supply chain at that time. I want you to take this thing. Are you game for that or not? And he gave me exactly 2 minutes to make a decision. So my answer was yes. I had no clue what was distribution all about. But finally, I took the call, and last 21 years have been pretty prosperous for me. I have been in regional supply chain management. I worked as national sales supply chain management. I have been on an expatriation. And finally, I retired from Chennai as a supply chain manager for Southern India. And here I am in front of you to the young budding supply chain managers from NSHM to tell you all about what supply chain is all about. Yes, Jayashankar.
Yeah. So Deepak, the first instance, if I remember vividly, when we were talking about supply chain management, what struck you? You know, what was that you must have been thinking when Ajay must have told you that there is a vertical called distribution, and when further it evolved into what is supply chain management today? You know, so how do you, because you've been through the baby steps of supply chain management, should I say that?
Yes, Jayashankar, what struck me within those 2 minutes was the novelty of the new vertical. I had no clue what supply chain was all about. Yes, I had seen a couple of people working with computers. That was the computers were first introduced in supply chain. They were behind the screen. The fascinated me was the way they would work, the work they would do for late hours in the evening, and nobody knew what they were doing. So my fascination was the newness, the novelty of the vertical, which I was offered. And I said, see, sales is something where you can, if you can leave for 2 years, you can always come back as a better person because you have focused on something else, and you become a better sales manager with the varied of exposure. So I took that as a challenge for me to take over the newness of this vertical, and that excited me the maximum to join this vertical.
Okay. So one important thing which you are stating is the newness which involved. Deepak, can I request you one thing? Can you switch off your background? You know, if you can just go back, and I'm sorry, I mean, I'm just taking it off because I think it's slightly shimmering. You can go back to your normal background without, yeah, that's fine, absolutely fine. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Yeah.
Deepak, for the yeah. So primarily, what a salesperson prima facie is a person who has a monthly target to achieve.
Yeah.
That is one of the core responsibility. So he has a set of products or services. He has to go and get those sales targets, on the basis of which production happens, marketing happens, sales happens, and then obviously sales means Ghar Ka Lakshmi. It is the money collected at the end from the customer's basket. This is all we understand of sales. And many a times, whenever we offer a job of a salesperson, it is usually a lot of traveling, lot of target, lot of stress. That's exactly what we come to hear. So, was it something like you were jumping from that to another bigger cauldron of not knowing what your responsibilities were?
No, I was aware that what I'm going into will be even worse, because for last 14 years I have become tuned to that anxiety. But adding to that, it was absolutely a new field, and we were trying to set up supply chain in Nestle at that time. So what I would say, then I realized that it's even tougher than what sales were doing. The pressures, the
Okay.
stress, and were at least in 5 times more than what we were doing in sales. And because of my
Okay.
experience in sales, uh, it was easier for me to migrate into a supply chain position, because I knew the pain of sales.
Okay. Okay. So that's very interesting. So, and therefore, what could have been the responsibilities of a person who was, in distribution? Should we say that? And
Okay.
then, what kind of job role would that involve?
Okay. Now let me give you an analogy. In Air Force, only 2% of the people are involved in flying or something to do with flying. 98% of the people are supporting those 2% who fly. Now you understand the importance of the support division.
Okay. Oh, that's very interesting.
Okay.
Oh,
Now I'll give you one more analogy. Coronavirus is a phenomenon of last 90 days.
correct.
Did you hear something called a mask or sanitizer, or a PPE, or a face shield before that? Today it is available in a sabzi ka dukan. I went to get my hair cut yesterday. It was being sold in the barber shop. Now in this 90 days, without any marketing, without any sales, the supply chain has been able to feed the market for the sanitizers and the masks to be available at your doorstep. This is the power of supply chain.
Okay. 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 So supply chain primarily means that it is taking right from the product inception to its packaging, to its pricing, to
Uh,
its marketing.
yes, I would like to give you one more example. Probably this would explain the relevance of supply chain in today's Mahabharat. Now, in Mahabharat, what is all Mahabharat about? The first, if I ask you, Shankar, what is Mahabharat all about? What would be your reply be?
Mahabharat would be primarily the war in Kurukshetra and the Pandavas and the Kauravas.
Yeah. So, Mahabharat, when we talk about are the heroes, are the Pandavas. Now, let's analyze these Pandavas. There are five Pandavas. The eldest one is Yudhishthir. Now, in today's business enterprise, let's see who is Yudhishthir in today's business enterprise. Yudhishthir as a character is a guy who's driven by SOP. He's a guy who is totally accordance with compliance. He will not go deviate from any compliance. And probably that is the finance and controls in today's departments. Today's vertical, one of the main verticals of any enterprise is finance and control. Then comes the second one. The second eldest is Bhim. Bhim is the most boisterous, most powerful, most elaborate in this thing, and we can compare it with marketing. They are always, I will do this, I will do that, I can do this within 15 hours. They are one of the most glamorous departments of today's enterprise. And I'm sure most of the graduates who are looking forward to get an employment would look at marketing as a very favorable alternative because it's very glamorous. Now, second is our great hero Arjuna. Arjuna is full of qualities. But he's half the time he's confused. He does not know what to do. He's very powerful. He has the Brahmastra. He had the atom bomb in his hand. But still he was confused. And that's a sales force. They are very powerful, very, very advanced, very technologically advanced, but they need guidance. They need, at times, they need support. Now let's come to the two younger brothers. Those are
Nakul and Sahadev.
Nakul and Sahadev. Now let's say Nakul. Nakul had the finesse for technology. He could sense how the horses were working, how the chariot would work. So those are technical and production people. But and the first one was Sahadev. Sahadev was good at behavior. So he's a today's HR. Now, in spite of all the 5 people being there, you needed one more person, and the whole Mahabharata is about that, and that is about Krishna. Mahabharata is not about Pandavas, it is not about the Kauravas, it is about Krishna. And Krishna depicts supply chain. It holds everything together, and that's what you said. It starts from a concept of number crunching, where supply chain brings in people from all verticals, make them sit in a room, and before they leave the room, they come to one number that this company is going to run with one number, and that is the number which the sales is chasing. That's the number which is marketing is chasing. That is the number on which your balance sheet are being projected. That is the number on which production is being planned. So there are no more buffers. The buffers used to be there in 1980s and 70s, when sales would have a different number, marketing would have a different number, and our finance graduates would have a different number. So this concept of this is called consensus demand. This is very much part of supply chain, and this is called demand planning. Jaishankar, I would like to tell you and the audience here, and probably it might be a revelation to you also, that 80% of a company's spends are being controlled by supply chain. Now, can you understand the power of supply chain? You'll ask me Deepak, why are you saying that 80% of the spends are being with supply chain? See, in supply chain is procurement, is purchase. So you are purchasing services, you are purchasing raw material, you are purchasing packaging material, you are even purchasing media. When you want Amitabh Bachchan to come and dance for your product, it is not marketing that is negotiating. It is the procurement team which is negotiating. And in a very big enterprise, procurement is part of supply chain.
Oh, wow. This is really interesting. So the job itself is looking very, very interesting now.
Yeah. So the challenge is the concept. What I want to break a myth here for all the listeners and my friends who are on the other side of the screen is supply chain is not only logistics. It is not only chasing trucks, and it is not only making sure that stock reaches the final customer. Yes, it is an important part, but there is much more and beyond chasing trucks. And that's what you have to understand. So one concept which I introduced a short while ago was demand planning, wherein the numbers are with supply chain. The numbers that drive the company are with supply chain. Now, when the numbers are finalized, it comes to a department called supply planning. How these numbers will be converted into production, which line, which factory will produce what and when. This department is also with supply chain. So can you see the value chain of supply chain is increasing? Just from chasing trucks, it goes into planning. And when I say number crunching, Jaishankar, as you said, that it starts from a product planning. When you're going to launch a product, supply chain is there. Supply chain is there to help you with procurement, laminates, printing, carton shipping design, shipping carton design, logistics. What else you need? Supply chain is there. And today in bigger enterprise, a supply chain implant is there in all marketing group. He sits in that marketing circle. He doesn't sit with the supply chain vertical. And he is the link between the marketing and the corporate supply chain. Then we come down to supply planning. Supply planning again is a vertical for sub-vertical within supply chain, which is slightly technical in nature, because supply planners generally are people who knows machine, who knows which machine produces what. And after supply planning has done its work, it goes into production. Not production, but the procurement. Procurement people pick this data up and they break it into raw material requirement. What is required, when it is required, they have to order, they have to hedge commodities, they have to buy commodities, etc. And so procurement for demand, from demand planning to supply planning to procurement. Now for a short while, the supply chain loses the control on production, because that is the production people who are producing. But as soon as the production is over, it is handed over back to supply chain. And supply chain takes over as finished goods logistics. They store it and then they start sending it to the various warehouses or distribution centers or across the country, depending on what is required. Supply chain is also responsible for the primary sale of the company, because the billing happens in supply chain. That happens in something called customer services. The first billing till the entire, whatever I told you, value chain, the company is only investing money. The first revenue recognition happens in a warehouse of a company where the bill is raised to a distributor. And that is part of customer service. Now, after the bill is raised, the responsibility of delivering it to the final customer also lies with supply chain, and that is in today's terminology, we call it the last mile delivery.
Okay.
So if you see, in a relay race, supply chain is running with each department, and the baton to the finishing line is also the responsibility of supply chain. So have I been able to tell you the importance of supply chain against the general thinking of perception that it is only porters and transporters?
Very well said. I think it's almost like when you said about Mahabharata and Krishna, it's like the relay races where the baton which each relay runner has to give it to the next runner. The role of the baton is a very important aspect.
Yes.
So supply chain is the connectivity between the various runners to complete the race, which is very interesting. And me as a customer, honestly speaking, the last mile delivery, I mean, even for example, this webinar, what goes behind this webinar, because this is exactly what everybody is viewing it, all our viewers.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of things which are happening behind the webinar for it to finally give this product, or service. So, Deepak, I'm now very curious to know primarily, today in this pandemic and this lockdown, we have been within the house and there have been services which have reached our homes.
Yes.
The last mile, when you told about last mile, whether it is our payment of electric bill, to whether it is getting our daily groceries, to whether it is our banking systems, they're all reaching us at our doorstep. And that, as you said, in the Air Force, it is just 2% of the people who fly the planes. We actually do not know what the 98% is doing behind the scene. So you are seeing a huge expansion of this profession, whether it is a small business or a very large organization like Nestle, or the e-commerce, it is going to, how do you look at it? I mean, if I
Okay.
can ask you that question.
Now let me tell you. Probably this is one of the youngest vertical which has come into the industry in last 20 years. Sales and marketing have been there for so many years, and they have evolved. Whereas if you consider supply chain and as compared to digital marketing, these are the two verticals which are coming up slowly. They're still evolving. So the opportunity is immense at this moment of time, because many companies are taking on supply chain as one of their verticals. And now, earlier, see what happens. I'm not saying that earlier these roles were not being done, but either they were attached to sales or they were attached to finance. There was no specialized focus. Let me. They were all MBBS doctors, but now you have specialists. You have an orthopedic, you have a heart specialist, you have a skin specialist. So all are doing. It is not that it cannot be handled by an MBBS, but probably the business complications are so great that you need specialists to handle this sort of an environment. So opportunities, I would rather say, are immense in coming years, especially with the current economic situation in the world, where there is a talk that companies would be migrating to other places other than our great friend sitting across the Himalayas. So probably we'll also get some share. Secondly, India is the largest customer base. So any FMCG company planning to launch or to start operations would first try to work in India and then expand. Any company coming in would also like to come with a very talented supply chain people. See, if you ask me, I would not be out of place by saying that today all other verticals are equally balanced in terms of efficiency in all the companies. The fight can only be won by an efficient supply chain. And I tell you, I have a logic to that. Today's customer is not a loyal customer. When I say today's customer is not a loyal customer, Jaishankar, you will remember a Horlicks ad which said, "Ami to amar baba kyo khete dekhechi."
True.
True. So there was a tradition of having a product in the family. But today you go to a shop and you don't see a Colgate. But you will see a very, very well displayed close-up. 90% chances are there you'll pick up the close-up and take it, you'll forget Colgate.
Okay.
So these are the realities. So these are the realities of market of product availability. If it is not available, consumer will not wait for it. He will go ahead and try something else. Once he tries, it is very difficult to bring him back. So an efficient supply chain will ensure that wherever there's a customer, the products are available.
Okay, that's very, very interesting. Being part of this profession, I mean, I've been trying to identify with Deepak, who started in sales, and obviously meeting new customers, getting their idea, and then moving on to a back-end work, which I can feel and understand since you were interacting with so many departments. It must have been quite a thankless job with a lot of challenges and a lot of people giving you, their peace of mind, and maybe long hours of work as well. So just to know what is the kind of attitude that you must have to be in this kind of
so the attitude, so Jaishankar, the attitude is very simple. When everybody gives you a piece of their mind, your mind grows. you have a bigger mind. Now, if you ask me what are the essentials to be a good supply chain personnel, let me tell you one thing is that this is a job where your self-motivation is the most important one. The reason is very simple, and it is not a rocket science. If you don't deliver, you are the worst person. But for month after month, if you can't delivering, it goes unnoticed. Because then it comes, that's your job. But the day you fail, it is a disaster. There is a reason behind it, because you are the last mile. See, everything depends. If you can't finish a goal is not a goal. You might dribble very well throughout the field, but if you can't shoot a goal, it's not a goal. You lose the match. So all the dirt of the entire value chain ends up at supply chain. Now, what are the attitudes or aptitudes which are required? One is that you have to be self-motivating, you have to be courageous, and you have to have perseverance. The fourth most important thing, not in line with priority, is innovative. You have to come out with innovative ways to meet the demand of the company. There is no book, there is no formula. There is nobody feeding you that today you do this, today you do that, tomorrow you do that. Every day you will have to motivate yourself. You have to come out with new bright ideas to improve processes.
So it's very adventurous.
I think this is more adventurous than sales, and far more adventurous than marketing.
Quite right, because the results that you are wanting to see, you can only see it after a certain distance, because the entire cycle has to get through, which is very well said. And so therefore, if a student has this adventurous attitude and a never say die attitude and willing to have an innovative career, supply chain management looks to be a very, very interesting area. So is it that a student has to belong to commerce or humanities or science to join this stream, or from any stream he or she can join after class 12?
From any, he has to have a normal IQ, and he has to have four things: self-motivation, perseverance, innovation, and courage. That's all.
Wonderful. I think that's very well. I think I really respect, because that was one of the questions that I was trying to pop out, which is what kind of whether if I'm a commerce or an art student, because you are a commerce student.
So, I was a commerce student. I was doing my chartered accountancy. I had 14 years of sales. Then I shifted to supply chain. So there is the knowledge is when you are running, you learn how to run. There will be nobody telling you how to run. So you have to be motivated enough to learn and learn fast, so that you are faster than your colleagues, so that you can help the company in cleaning their dirt.
Right. So in the coming years, you see. Yeah.
One more thing. Because supply chain is also involved with the inventory, and inventory is like keeping money in your locker. Instead of a locker, you have a big warehouse where you have 100 crores of material lying. So there is some amount of responsibility in terms of compliance. There's some amount of responsibility in terms of security and safety, which is also in the realm of supply chain. So I forgot, as a total value chain of supply, quality and compliance is also a very important part of supply chain.
Right. So primarily, one important aspect which I can understand from you is, though from the management perspective, it looks like supply chain is the cost center. It is actually a huge saving center, and the ability to garner to profits.
Yes.
Of the company.
Yes. Just a simple example. If today I'm having a 21 or a 30 days inventory at a national level, and if my monthly turnover is say 3,000 crores, that means 3,000 worth of material is there in the inventory. If I can reduce it by 2 days, if I can bring it to 28 days, imagine the amount of profit you can add to the balance sheet. And this can only be done by supply chain. And here is the complexities of managing inventory. Whether it's inventory on wheel, how fast you can reach the material from factory to your consumer by cutting the lead time. And that's the efficiency of supply chain.
Wow. This is really interesting, because I'm sure the management of small or large businesses whichever kind, whether it is the information technology or the medical facilities like the hospital, the hotel industry, the FMCG, the e-commerce industry and the services. All these company owners are obviously going to look at supply chain as a very important component of growing their business profits.
Yes.
And the number of jobs are going to increase tremendously in this career option, as you're rightly pointing it out. It's so wonderful. So, because many times, I mean, I'm already seeing a parent who's asking this question as to, is there enough opportunities for students, I mean, for his child to join this program? So, yeah, so I think that's very valid. And just one other aspect, which is also something which, I keep thinking about. So when I choose an institute, where I need to send or I need to go and train myself, because when we did our management or our graduation, we had very basic things, as you rightly pointed out, very small areas. Now it has become more niche, more specialized, and supply chain management has also become a very niche area. So what is it that one should look out for apart from the academics when I seek out growing in this industry?
As I said, it's a very new animal to handle. Supply chain is probably 15, 20 years old. So there is not much of knowledge available in the domain of learning. There are books. I don't deny that there are books. There are enough study material, but these are totally different from the practical aspects of a company working. I'm sure the institutes are giving the right guidance, and today those guidance are required for a student to have a ticket in his hand. See, it's a ticket to enter into FMCG industry. If I have two candidates to choose, one is a graduate from an institute who has done supply chain, another is a plain graduate who has not done supply chain. I would rather choose a person who has a theoretical background. He knows the basics of supply chain. So it's a ticket to entering into a FMCG or a Alcobev company or a medical pharma company, whatever it is. Secondly, if you ask me, there has to be some amount of practical exposure in their training. Any institute, like in sales, they have their internship programs. For supply chain also, there should be an internship program where they should actually go and see a warehouse. I often ask this question when I am in various forums, that do you have any idea of what a warehouse looks? Sir, what is the size of a warehouse? So the various question comes back that it's 10,000, 16,000, 20,000 square feet. Then I have to tell them that Amazon operates 5 lakh square feet of warehouse. Now imagine how it's bigger than airport. So that is the size of logistics is required. So exposure, practical exposure is important for people to have the touch and feel of various aspects of supply chain.
True. Thank you so much. I think, Deepak, it's really wonderful to know this. We have one question which is very interesting, which is a little different. How does the supply chain management work for a hospital or healthcare sector?
Okay.
So this is
now.
Maybe,
I'll tell you, for healthcare and hospital, supply chain is a process. It is a name given as a supply chain. But imagine if you are in a hospital and you have to wait for 10 hours to get a bed, and it takes another 2 hours for doctors to come and visit you. Will you be satisfied? Will you have a good customer satisfaction rating for that hospital? Imagine of a hospital where you go, immediately in half an hour, your tests are being done. A person comes and tells you this is what has to be done. You are put under supervision and diagnosis is done. And within 2 to 3 hours, you have a complete diagnosis in your hand. Don't you think supply chain is playing somewhere to ensuring that you have the right bed, right instruments, right doctors? To doctors will do the work. Supply chain will not do the work. But arranging for a doctor to come within 15 minutes and attend to your, see, they also have a last mile. If I have to wait for my billing to take 5 hours, probably I'd be very dissatisfied. But yes, as soon as I come out of my cabin, bill is handed over in my hand, and I'm told what to do. I would be the happiest person to give a 5-star rating to that hospital. Hospital, the front end are the doctors, the OTs, and the nurses and the ward boys. But the back end is all supply chain.
I think that's very well answered. I think very important, because we only see the end, when somebody is admitted to the hospital. Let's take the hotel industry, for example. Very similar. I might go to a restaurant. I'm just ordering the food in the restaurant.
Yeah.
But what goes behind in ensuring that that menu is being properly supplied or properly being cooked, and it is looking standard quality every time when you go to it, whether it is a Lukadka, Kuchka wala, or a 5-star hotel or a 7-star hotel. It is really amazing at the uniformity at which you get it.
Jaishankar, the barometers of timeliness are changing now. You order a pizza, if it doesn't come in 30 minutes, you cancel the order. That is the demand from a customer now. Can you understand the last mile delivery, how important it is?
Very true. I think one very critical factor which you posed somewhere in between was that the ever-changing preferences of all of us, because we are also the consumers. As much as when we go to work in such companies, we are part of the production system, whether in finance or accounts or sales or marketing or HR, whichever, whether engineering or medical or ophthalmology or sports management or hotel management. At the end of the road, we are either going to be a producer for some time, but sometimes we are also going to be consumer of somebody else's services.
Yes. Obviously. Today we are using this platform to talk to each other. We are consumers for this platform.
Exactly. Yeah. And if we are creating content for this, we are producers.
We are producers. So now, as I said, today in today's corporate world, a company with an efficient supply chain will always have a winning edge. So it is no more that the finesse of sales or marketing was the only winning edge. Now the third vertical, that is supply chain, also adds to the scope of winning when it comes to as a corporate or the enterprise working.
True. So therefore the critical thing which you are telling us very nicely and very importantly today, Deepak, is that what you're trying to inform us that in terms of the various aptitude that, say, for example, if I'm a class 12 student and I want to self-assess myself whether supply chain looks very interesting, and it has a lot of opportunities. But also I need to check in myself whether I'm self-motivated, as you rightly said, whether I'm willing to be innovative, whether I'm being courageous, and whether I'm willing to, learn on the go, which is perhaps required in all the professions. So
I have not mentioned about knowledge. I have not mentioned about learning. I have not mentioned any other traits. Only if you have these 4 criteria, I'm telling you, you will slide as a hot knife on a butter on a butter in supply chain.
Beautiful. I think that's
every day. See, there's a difference between sales and supply chain. In sales, your results are skewed towards the month end. You come to know what are your sales only at the month end. But in supply chain, you have to deliver every day. Every day there's a last mile delivery. Every day there's a planning. Every day there's a forecasting. Every day there's a production planning. Every day there's a procurement.
Right. So critically, we are learning this very, very vitally that A, for class 12 students, you can come from any streams. Supply chain is a very progressive career option and it is going to grow because all businesses are realizing the importance of supply chain in improving their profit lines, the bottom line as they call it, and therefore the job opportunities are going to increase. A, B, in terms of prospects. There's one question which is coming up, which is, Deepak, what do you feel are the prospects of growing? You know, everybody has this question that if I join this career,
Yeah.
What is my growth opportunity which is there?
Let me answer it in a very simple way. You are equally poised to grow as your colleagues in sales or marketing. Joining sales in no way will be in supply chain will be nowhere a deterrent in your growth. Probably you are poised to grow faster because this vertical will grow faster than your other verticals in the company. So the opportunity to grow is much better at this moment of time and probably for next 15 years till the time this vertical also matures.
Okay. So of course, I just got one question which is very interesting. So again, I'll take it for you.
Yeah.
So one is that supply chain plays a very important role in terms of accurate delivery, on-time delivery, should I say. Now, how does the onus of quality of delivery?
Yes.
So you know, inaccurate delivery or the wrong shipment or the wrong services being reached.
See, as
so
I said,
how does that?
Yeah, as I said that efficiency of the supply chain adds to the winning edge of the company. Now, one of the criteria are customer service levels. How much out of 100 deliveries, how many deliveries have been made accurate? And a supply chain is measured by something called a CSL, customer service level. That means the customer is asking me X, have I been able to deliver him X all the time, or out of 100 times have I delivered 99 times? So I failed one time. I will be a miss in my scorecard. In supply chain, surprisingly, every activity is monitored and it is monitored every day. So if you're monitoring an activity every day, the chances of failures are reduced. I would not say that will not happen. Yes, pizza may fail to deliver in 30 minutes, but if once or twice in 100 cases, I think that's acceptable. There are failures. I would not say that there are no failures. Yes, there are failures. And people should be ready to take these failures as part of the job. And which job doesn't have a failure?
Correct. So even the Bombay Dabbawalas are a very fantastic example of the Six Sigma levels of quality.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, very true. I think I respect your point. So Deepak, I think it's overall as we were discussing in terms of a career option, it's a fantastic career option, and students and parents must look forward to this. And of course, you must assess yourself to know, whether you have these aptitudes, as Deepak has rightly pointed out. And the more important thing is, it has got a great career progression, and every organization is looking at it as a very strong functionality to increase their bottom line. And as far as choosing institutes, as Deepak rightly pointed out, institutes must provide for a lot of internships to actually go through the various facets of production, to packaging, to pricing, to warehousing, to distribution, till it reaches what is in economics called the consumer basket. So therefore, all the aspects of it, you get exposure. And the idea is that the beauty is you could perhaps get liking into one area, and you could comfortably move into in depth or keep following the relay as it goes along. So whichever way you want to progress in life in this profession. And supply chain management is come here to stay, as Deepak says. and that's very heartening to know. And you know, today we met Deepak, who's actually taken the baby steps. 21 years ago, as I said, many of you were still just babies, and therefore Deepak is a person who has actually held supply chain. And Deepak was sharing with me that today in the board of directors in Nestle Worldwide in Switzerland, there is an Indian who is the head of specifically a vertical called supply chain management worldwide. And we're proud to know from Deepak that he's actually an Indian, just like Ajay Banga, whom we know that who heads MasterCard, we know him. So Deepak, if you could just briefly tell about the person who heads the
Yeah,
vertical of supply chain management for Nestle.
yeah. I was fortunate enough to work under both these people. Like Banga, you said, I was fortunate enough to, he was my boss in Calcutta. And the other guy was Vinit Khanna, who's the supply chain head in Nestle Worldwide, sitting in Switzerland. He was also my boss in Calcutta. He was a branch controller in Calcutta. Then he was my boss when I was in National Logistics. So I happened to meet, and there are many people from India who are in various countries as supply chain heads stationed in Philippines or Oman or Dubai. Many Indian people
Egypt.
are working in Egypt. Egypt. So the opportunities are immense, Shankar. The only thing is that you have to be you should be sustaining, and you have to be persistent in your hard work. There is no shortcut in
So
supply
one
chain.
last question which has come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, one last question which has come up, which we will take it up. Deepak, which the gentleman is asking, can you tell us about the salary progression? As I was telling you, many of us are interested to know.
See,
ये करियर लेके करते हैं, ये ग्रेजुएशन करते हैं, तो सैलरी कितना मिलेगा?
ये कहना बड़ा मुश्किल है, शंकर. It depends from organization to organization. But you are, in today's scenario, you are equated in the same level as that of sales and marketing. If that gives you a comfort, probably if 3 people are entering, they will all enter with the same salary. And
Okay.
As I said in my earlier statements, that the progression in supply chain from career point of view will be faster than that of sales, because sales has a big force to take care, where supply chain comparatively has lesser number of people, so the progressions are higher. And because it is growing, number of factories are increasing, number of branches are increasing, so possibility of mobility is also very high.
I just have one question, which is from my side, which is very vital. So, you know, in today's context, the young generation, because India is the youngest country in the world, and our Indian students who are between the age of 18 to 6, you know, the working, it's a huge population. So almost 43% of the students are going to grow up in 2055. And many of these students who will be taking up these management programs will actually end up maybe starting up small businesses. Even for a business person, how important is it for him or her to know supply chain as the backbone? As you said, in Mahabharata, Krishna is like the backbone. So how important is it to know the Gita of business?
Let me give you one more example. The house kitchen is the biggest supply chain management of the world. The mother, the wife, or the sister, she exactly knows where is what is kept where, how much is required every day, fresh produce, staple grain. She knows very well. So any businessman who's going to run a business other than sales and marketing would surely need a supply chain knowledge, which he will acquire through these various institutes. So I would say that a person without the knowledge of supply chain is not complete in the entire enterprise working knowledge. I would also like to tell you one more thing. this is especially for the students. Why are you looking India only as your market? If you come out as a graduate, you have the entire world. I know there were within my team, there were 3-4 guys who were graduates, business graduates. They have applied for permanent this thing in Canada, and they have got jobs in supply chain there. So
Wonderful.
the world is changing today. The only one challenge remains to all the students is that please be always open to mobility. Don't let mobility come into your as an obstruction to your career. Like when I was posted in sales, I was posted in a place called Murshidabad. I never said no. Then suddenly I was uprooted and I was sent to Delhi. I was uprooted and sent to Sri Lanka. So you always have to be part of that growth process, and wherever there's an opportunity, you should be present there. So mobility is one more criteria. Mobility is also a very great criteria of your success.
So one of the takeaways, Deepak. Yeah, sorry.
Have I been able to answer your question?
Yes, very well. See, one of the takeaways from today's discussion, thank you so much, Deepak, is supply chain management enables the right consumer to get the right service at the right time. And for anybody who is looking at a career or a business, perhaps doing a program in supply chain management, whatever, you could be a doctor, you could be an engineer, you could be an artist, learn supply chain management because it will teach us how to be at the right opportune moment, at the right place, with the right kind of service to grab that opportunity. I think that's my takeaway from this today.
Absolutely,
So
very well summarized. Very well summarized, Jaishankar. Very well summarized.
Right. So thank you once again, Deepak, for your time spent with us, and I'm sure this will be very, very beneficial for many of us. And thank you once again, and I hope we will be in touch. And in case any students have any queries, yeah, sorry.
You can give my phone number to him. He can call me up anytime. I would be rather very happy to help him out anytime.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, friends. Have a great evening, and bye-bye. Take care and stay safe.